High school football is special all across the state of Louisiana, but nothing compares to our area. It's time for This Week in River Parish Football. From Pro Stylez Sports Bar, 150 Belterre in LaPlace, welcome to This Week in River Parish Football. Hi again, everyone. Eric Richey, pleased to be joined by East St. John head coach Phillip Banko. Several of his players are here as well. This, of course, the new sports bar by former East St. John star Kerry Watkins, who went on to be a star at Georgia Tech and an all-star in the CFL. We'll hear from Kerry in a little bit, as well as Lyons here as well from riverparishfootball.com. But first, our featured guest, Coach Banko. Great to have you here. What a season it's been, and man, what you have gone through from the tragedy with the deputies, with the hurricane displacing your football team. You could write a movie about this season, and it's only halfway over.
So halfway over. We got 3 more games. We need to win all 3 to go to the playoffs, and this week's against the other Wildcats of the Bayou region here, and that's the Destrehan Wildcats, and we look forward to playing them here in 2 days.
Coach, what does it say about your players that have persevered through so much, through 2 months of this football season? And for those not familiar, obviously with the floods from Hurricane Isaac and what happened to the field house, the equipment was gone. You guys just were able to practice in bits and pieces wherever. You were nomads for a while. You still are displaced. What does it say about the character of your football team, Coach, that they have gone through this season?
Well, it's true grit. I mean, they're very resilient, and they're going to transcend. It's going to be a heck of a story for y'all when we finish these next 3 weeks, I promise you.
Picked up that first win. You played, it seemed like, on the road forever. After week 1 was gone, you pick up that win in Baton Rouge against Capital, and then you go ahead the next week and you win your district opener against Eric. Just tell us what this season has been like on the field itself, Coach, and throughout all the distractions, you've got a couple of wins here. Got
a couple of wins, and the other night, I mean, credit goes to Hanville High School in Louis Valley and his staff, but we were in it to the very end. You know, 4 plays, you know, and that's on us. That's on me. That's not on these young men, but we were in it. We had a bunch of people out. They had a few people out, but, you know, we were in it to the end, and it's fun. That's what I tell them every day. Don't worry about your life. Don't worry about what's going on. You got 2-3 hours when we're at meetings and watching film and practicing to not focus and not even think about your problems. And we're having fun. I mean, on the field, we're having fun. It's
been a remarkable job by this guy sitting next to me and his coaching staff to get where this football team is right now. It's time for us to take a look back at Week 7 highlights. And again, River Parish team's coming off a 7-1 week. This week, 6-2. Let's go ahead and roll Week 7 highlights. We start at St. Charles. The defending 3A state champs fired up for 4-1 Port Allen, and so is Garrett and D. Washburn. Fired up in the concession stand, fired up on the field. Comets head coach Frank Monica, even with a 21-0 lead at the half, no let up. Comets have only passed the ball 1 time in the past 2 weeks prior to this. Much more balanced tonight. Austin Weber to Brandon Zimmer, a screen pass deep inside Pelican territory. Weber would later take it himself. Lining up at running back, he had a game-high 67 yards. His 9th rushing touchdown of the season. St. Charles led 28-0. The only player for the Comets with more rushing yards this season than Weber? This guy, Aaron Lewis. Great effort all the way to the inch line. Oh! But the next play, no problemo. Zimmer already had a touchdown reception. Now you can add a rushing touchdown. And St. Charles was in command 35-0. Fourth quarter, number 72, Taylor Cochran lands awkwardly, and that's not good. Sam McMahon, a great game, comes up with the sack. Cochran later would get a smile out, but a tough break for the reigning riverparishfootball.com Defensive Player of the Year. St. Charles holds on, and the swagger's back. The Comets have now won 4 straight, beating Port Allen 35-0.
Overall, you know, I'm giving them the credit in the first half, and I had to kind of rip them a little bit at halftime because I didn't think that we were playing with much emotion. And if we're going to be a good football team, we have a lot of room to improve, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. But you know, hats off to our defensive coaches. I think they came here with a good plan. We bent a little bit, but we didn't break. I just need our team to be a little bit more resilient. And we've having some mistakes in the backfield that I'm not very pleased with, and a lot of it's the decision-making process.
Next stop is Riverside, hosting Miller McCoy. Last week 50-50 tickets. This week Coretta Jackson selling programs.
Fire!
Before the game, the Mickey Roussel era and the new Bill Stubbs era came together. And what a class move by Riverside, naming their field after longtime head coach Mickey Roussel.
It was on the first day it opened its doors in 1970 that an eager, bright-eyed ninth grader, Mickey Roussel, first walked into the halls of Riverside Academy. It is that day that his love, dedication, and passion started for this school. The Riverside Academy School Board wanted to acknowledge Coach Mickey Roussel's dedication and devotion somehow, because this field is the one he so affectionately manicured, cared for, nurtured, and mentored on for years. The vote by the board was unanimous to name the field after Coach Mickey. On behalf of Riverside Academy, I'm proud to announce that the Riverside Academy football stadium is now Mickey Roussel Field.
Following that dedication, can you say positive mojo? Von Julian in motion. He goes all the way down to the 10-yard line. Riverside hosting Miller McCoy. That Julian run led to a short touchdown run by the reigning Fatties Player of the Week. There's Jonquil Sanders. Start of another big night for the Rebels offense. Deuce Wallace, freshman quarterback, 4 touchdown passes last week, 4 more on this night. 2 of them going to fellow freshman wide receiver Herb McGee. The Rebels defense had a solid night, taking advantage of the high snap with lightning quickness. Blue shirts all over the Miller McCoy backfield. At the bottom of the pile, number 11, Trent Fye, one of his 2 fumble recoveries on the night. Now it's the Rebels offense really starting to click. Sanders rushed for 106 yards on the night, had 2 rushing touchdowns and a touchdown reception. Then it's Wallace back to the air, 224 yards on the night, and McGee just needs one hand to haul in the best touchdown reception our cameras have captured all season. 33-0, Riverside now 2 in a row. The Rebels are on a roll. Elsewhere, Lutcher remains perfect, beating St. Michael 25-0. That was a big District 6-4A win for the Bulldogs. 3 scoring drives went over 80 yards. Lutcher 4-0 in district play, 6-0 overall. Rustin Mathern 20 of 23, 176 yards passing and a touch, 156 more yards on the ground, and 2 more TDs. RiverParishFootball.com senior writer George Becknell, he was at this game. George, how'd it go?
Offensive perfection. I mean, it was St. Michael's, their first 2 punts. I mean, the punter just boomed the ball, put the ball in deep position for field position for Lutcher, and Lutcher just mounted 15, 16 play drives, taking 5-6 minutes off the clock, and it was just a clinic on the offense.
Let's get to West St. John, where once again the 1A Rams are on a roll, hosting Ascension Catholic. Already up 48-7 when our cameras showed up in the 3rd quarter. How about the draw to perfection? That's Jeremy Jackson, part of a huge night for that young man. 128 yards on the ground on just 7 carries, including 2 touchdowns. 4th quarter now. Austin Howard, not so bad himself. 14 of 16, 248 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, and there's one of them. Back to Jackson. Kylan Favorite added 107 yards on the ground, and West St. John's back to 500, 2-0 in the district after a 62-21 win over Ascension Catholic.
It's the 2nd season, and we just got to get rolling. We got to, I think the kids understand what's at hand. Our goals are still in front of us to win a district championship and, still win a state championship, but we just got to take care of business. We can never overlook anybody. You just have to come out and play and just give it our best.
I know I came out a little sluggish early in the season. I would just come out here and just play football. Coach Juan, Coach Peter just tell me, play with my eyes. I trust my eyes. I trust what I see, and I just kept going.
Let's head off to St. James now, and there's a good look at number 10, Seth Keller. He's one of the leading tacklers in the state, indicative of the no-quit attitude at St. James, hosting a tough Bruley team. Bruley has that quarterback, Jay Christophe, a quarterback keeper here. He had 2 touchdowns on the ground, also threw for a pair. Bruley's got plenty of weapons. How about Carl Alexander? An 18-yard touchdown. The Panthers led 14-0. But the Wildcats came up with their best offensive performance of the year. Daquan Sandoff, back at quarterback, rushed for 130 yards on 16 carries. Also, 11 of 16 through the air, 113 yards passing. And the touchdown pass here to Rashawn Dennis, it was a 14-6 game. Later in the quarter, Alexander scores again, making it 20-6. St. James puts up 22 points, but they fall short to Bruley, 55-22. Let's now meet the homecoming court at St. James.
I'm Lorena, Mercedes,
Ariel,
Caitlin, Shay, DeJay.
And a pair of homecoming queens to congratulate. The defensive queen was Caitlin Bartholomew. On the offensive side, it was Ariel Armour. We're just getting started on This Week in River Parish Football. Eric Richey, pleased to be joined by East St. John head coach and athletic director Phillip Banko. Time for our first break. When we return, a lot to get to. We'll take a look ahead at what's up. Lyons joined us, and we'll talk to some of these East St. John Wildcat players who have persevered through a ton this season already. We're at Pro Stylez Sports Bar, 150 Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. You want a place to go for Monday Night Football? This is the place to be. And don't forget about Tuesday night. It's steak night. We're back after this. It's time for a TV timeout, brought to you by AMP, your local one-stop shop for all your print, promotional, and marketing needs. Choose local, choose AMP.
At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com.
It's a whole lot better for plan service than it is for demand service.
That's why at Cajun Comfort, Electrical, Air Conditioning, and Heating, we've developed a unique umbrella for our customers known simply as
Comfort Club.
For AC units, it's the
ESA.
Energy Savings Agreement.
You get 2 cleanings a year. Also with that, you get a 15% discount on any repairs you may need, and you get priority service, which to me is the most important thing.
Comfort Club.
Which also includes
EPP. Electrical Protection Plan. We go through your panel and check all your breakers, check everything, make sure everything looks good. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of electrical fire in your home. Comfort Club.
And for your generators,
GMP.
Generator Maintenance Program.
We go through, we change the oil, we change filters. When the storm comes, your generator's up and ready to kick on for you.
We're what satisfaction is supposed to feel like, and we guarantee that satisfaction 100%.
Now's the time to call Cajun Comfort, Electrical, Air Conditioning, and Heating, and just ask for
Comfort Club.
Like I've told you before, this game is so great because for 2 to 3 hours, you don't have to think about anything in your life except for football. And that's what's great about it. But then you got everybody in here. So right now, this is what I want you to do before we do anything else. I want you to stand and give somebody a hug right now. Let's go.
Welcome back to Pro Stylez Sports Bar here in LaPlace. That was Coach Phillip Banko addressing his football team, the first practice after Hurricane Isaac. And I know you said you actually reached those players, Coach, that new wave media went through Facebook. Now, you don't look like a high five kind of guy to me, so I got something better. How about a hypothetical 5?
Absolutely.
5 what-if questions?
Go ahead.
All right, 5 what-if questions. A hypothetical 5 with East St. John head coach Phillip Banko. What if you had to describe what has made you the proudest of what your team has accomplished through all the adversity off the field this season?
I had two parents call me last week, and one of their sons played Friday against Harmville because of an injury. And she, along with the other parent, explained to me, Coach, we know our sons are playing because somebody's hurt. We want to appreciate you and what your staff has done to these young men because they are the babies of our family. They're going to college next year, and we feel that they're ready because of what you've done with them.
That's excellent.
And that says it all right there.
It does. Question number 2, hypothetically speaking, we said this season could already be a movie. What if you could be a casting director and pick the leading man? Who would play Phillip Banko in the movie, the East St. John season?
Pierce Bronson. Come on, man.
Pierce Bronson?
Absolutely. 007. Come on.
I was thinking maybe Bruce Willis.
That would be awesome.
Bruce Willis, a tough guy.
Oh, he's tough. Pierce Bronson's pretty tough, too. Come on. 007? Come on.
Hypothetical question number 3. Now, you have coached all over. NFL Europe, you've coached under J.T. Curtis, coached a couple different times now at East St. John. What if you had to pick the best piece of advice you've ever got in coaching?
The best piece of it, 2 pieces of advice. One was from J.T. Curtis, and he said, play the game, don't let the game play you. Okay? And that was pretty apropos in those 4 plays that we talked about earlier, what cost us the Hahnville game. And then the second thing is from a guy named Rick Lance, who's retired. He was my head coach in Berlin Thunder, and he always told me, Coach, if you can get the horses to the water with a minute to go, let the athletes win and lose the game, and that's what we did the other night.
That's great. That's great. That's good. Question number 4, hypothetically speaking with Phillip Banko, what if you had to pick one area that you feel will be the key Friday night against Destrehan?
The key for us Friday night against Destrehan is going to be ultimately special teams, and we're working with Leonard Davis is going to help us, and he's going to be the deep snapper. And we're also going to have another kicker. And we have Nigel Anderson, who's now punting again. We're trying to keep them out of those phases just because some of them, like Nigel's going both ways, Leonard's going both ways. And I think that's going to be a key. It's going to be huge. The other thing is going to be third down for us. We have to convert on third down on offense, and then on defense, we're going to have to get them to punt the ball because watching their film and doing all the stats, I mean, they're over 65% on third down. So that's pretty big for Destrehan, and for us, that's a big key.
And our final hypothetical 5 question for Coach Banko. Out of all the people that have stepped up, whether it's high schools, the Saints, people have stepped up and offered various assistance as far as their field, equipment, money, whatever the case may be. If you had to pick one thing, a piece of goodness that somebody handed out that kind of came from nowhere, what would be the one that kind of stands out as the most special to you?
There's a lot, and that's a bad question because if I don't say everybody, they're going to call me. But there was a young lady who called me from Baton Rouge, and she said, Coach, and I have her name, and I wrote her a thank you note. And she said, Coach, my son played football 6 years ago, and I got a helmet and a pair of shoulder pads I want to bring to you. I gave her the address to the school board office, and she brought it. And it's still sitting in, I don't have an office, but when I do get one, it's going up there on the wall. And that's very poignant.
That's excellent. Well put. Time for us to take another break here on This Week in River Parish Football. As we go to break, it's a chance to find out who our Fatties Player of the Week is. And when we return, Lori Lyons from riverparishfootball.com joins us up here on set as we let Coach talk to his players. We'll be right back here on This Week in River Parish Football. A record number of candidates for the Fatties Player of the Week. We start with West St. John running back Jeremy Jackson. 7 carries is all it took him to rack up 128 yards. Had 2 touchdowns on the ground, also added a touchdown reception in West St. John's 41-point win. Letcher quarterback Rustin Mathern, nearly perfect, accounting for 3 touchdowns in the Bulldogs' 25-0 shutout over St. Michael. St. Charles safety Sam McMahon, one of several comic defenders who shine, but he seemed to be around the ball the most in the 35-0 shutout win over Port Allen. St. James quarterback Daquan Sandoff returned to his position and rushed for 130 yards, passed for 113 more in the best offensive performance this season for St. James. Destrehan wide receiver Michael Smith had 2 touchdown receptions, 136 receiving yards on 8 catches as Destrehan rolled by Eric 42-24. And Riverside freshman quarterback Deuce Wallace, 4 touchdown passes, threw for 224 yards in a 33-0 shutout win over Miller McCoy. Our winner after this. Stylez Bar and Grill in Garyville. On Tuesdays, it's our 12-ounce ribeye. Wednesday night and Sundays for lunch, all-you-can-eat fried fish. Thursday, try our half rack of barbecue ribs. And Friday, it's the all-you-can-eat Dungeness and snow crabs served with sausage, potatoes, and corn. After you eat, head to the bar. A great place to watch the game.
It's always a good time at Fatty's, Chef.
I'm Rustin Mathern, number 16 for Letcher High School, and I'm Fatty's Player of the Week.
Mathern continued to put up tremendous numbers in helping Letcher to a 25-0 key shutout win in district play over St. Michael. 20 of 23 passing, 176 yards and a touchdown in the air. Also, 156 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Rustin Mathern, our first 2-time winner of the Fatty's Player of the Week.
Big district game, a lot of fans in the stadium. Both sides of the stadiums were filled up, and you know, we got the ball on. We had to drive 80 yards about 3 times in a row, and our offense just put it together, you know. Our line did their job, I did my job, and receivers caught all the passes I threw to them, and we actually ran the ball very well last week. I'll have to say we had been having a great season, but we still got work to do. We got players to get back, and we got to keep working to our goals. You know, we want to end up in the dome like every other team.
As Rustin goes, we go. But I don't think you realize the type of athlete Rustin is. You know, he's a tremendous competitor, and you can certainly see that in the weight room and all the things that he does. But his disposition in life, you know, kind of carefree and stuff. You wouldn't think that he's the competitor that he is. But first thing I noticed on the football field is his speed. Tremendous arm, but because of his legs, he keeps us in every football game.
Congratulations to Letcher senior quarterback Rustin Mathern, our first 2-time winner of the Fatty's Player of the Week.
It's a whole lot better for planned service than it is for demand service.
That's why at Cajun Comfort, Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating, we've developed a unique umbrella for our customers known simply as
Comfort Club.
For AC units, it's the
ESA.
Energy Savings Agreement.
You get 2 cleanings a year. Also with that, you get a 15% discount on any repairs you may need, and you get priority service, which to me is the most important thing.
Comfort Club.
Which also includes
EPP, Electrical Protection Plan. We go through your panel and check all your breakers, check everything, make sure everything looks good. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of electrical fire in your home. Comfort Club.
And for your generators,
GMP.
Generator Maintenance Program.
We go through, we change the oil, we change filters. When the storm comes, your generator's up and ready to kick on for you.
We're what satisfaction is supposed to feel like, and we guarantee that satisfaction 100%.
Now's the time to call Cajun Comfort Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating and just ask for
Comfort Club.
Welcome back to This Week in River Parish Football. We are broadcasting from Pro Stylez Sports Bar, 150 Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. It's the new sports bar for former East St. John star Kerry Watkins. We'll talk to him in just a bit. I'm Eric Richey, and pleased to be joined by RiverParishFootball.com writer Lori Lyons, a veteran of over 2 decades of covering River Parish football. And you do a fabulous job. We're, first of all, pleased to have you on board. It's great to have you. And you've covered this East St. John, the turmoils that they've had to deal with off the field. What's been your take on how Phillip Banko and how this Wildcat team has kind of persevered through all the intangibles they've had to deal with?
Oh, it's amazing the things that they've had to deal with, from finding a place to meet, finding a place to watch film, finding a place to practice, losing equipment, losing their school. That's such an emotional tie for these guys. I think that the way they've bounced back and played football in spite of everything is amazing. And some of these kids have lost homes. Some of them are living in gutted homes. They're still working on homes. All the things that they had to go through and to get where they are is pretty amazing.
Like we did with George Becknell in this very same time slot of the show, time to look ahead. We've looked back. We've seen the highlights from Week 7. Let's now go ahead and look ahead at Week 8. And we start with Hahnville, where suddenly, are you the good luck charm for Lou Valden? You've covered this team the last couple of weeks. You brought Lou 2 district wins. This week, they've got another district game with Higgins.
With Higgins, and I think they need to find a little bit more offense. Sergio Medina was moved from the defensive side to the offensive side. He's moving the ball well, but they didn't really move the ball particularly well Friday night. and I think they need to work on that a little bit, but the defense did come through and sealed that victory for them.
Letcher has been the cream of the crop in River Parish football this year, one of the best in the state. They're a perfect 6-0, 4-0 in district play. They've got Bel Air on the road.
They are a fine-tuned machine. I saw them earlier against Tara, and just amazing talent. Their quarterback Rustin Mathern is just amazing, and can throw with accuracy and can run, and you just never know what they're going to pull out.
District 8 5A matchup. It's River Parish versus River Parish. When you talk about the Battle of the Wildcats, Destrehan and East St. John duking it out 8 5A style.
I've been covering this game for more than 20 years, and I tell you, anything can happen. There's been the 5 overtime games, the 6 overtime games, the 1 at the buzzer. Anything can happen. That's the one thing that everybody says. This is going to be a fun one. I can't wait. I'm so glad I get to cover it again.
9-2A Riverside is one of those teams, Lori, that has picked a good time to get hot. They've won their last 2 games. They're taking on Carver, a Saturday night game for this one.
I know, and that's kind of Saturday night. It might knock the Rebels out of their rhythm a little bit. They have improved as well. Juice Wallace, their quarterback, improved greatly from the first time I saw him to the last time I saw him. I think they got some confidence against Cohen, a couple of victories there, and I'll be interested to see what they can do.
St. Charles and Bruley, a 7-3A matchup, and this is the 2 top teams in the district. I cannot wait to see what happens in Baton Rouge.
That should be a good one, a tight battle, and I don't know. St. Charles has also faced some adversity, much like East St. John has. It hasn't been as publicized as East St. John's has, but a lot of kids there have been dealing with some of the same issues. Coach Monica's house was flooded, so it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle this team.
And much like East St. John has lost their best player, one of their top players, and Des Broussard, one of the top players in the state, ditto for St. Charles. Taylor Cochran with that injured knee last week. It looks like he'll be missing this game as well. District 9 1A. What do you say? West St. John, they're on fire now that they're back in 1A. They're taking on their old nemesis from a couple years ago when White Castle beat them twice on their way to a state championship. Last year, the tables were reversed as West St. John beat White Castle on the way to a state title, or at least going to the Dome anyway.
Well, once you get to mid-season, West St. John is firing on all cylinders. Sometimes they have a little slow start, takes them a little time to get up to speed, but usually by week 6, week 7, they're on a roll. They're going to be tough to stop. And this is a big rival for them, so that they're going to be emotionally ready and prepared.
And we wrap up in District 7 3A. St. James put up the most points they've done all season. Daquan Sandoff back at quarterback, and they have a tough chore. Edie White's way up there in power points.
But they suffered some injuries Friday night too, and I think they're going to be without some key players, and that could hurt them. I know Coach Bell, poor Coach Bell has got the walking wounded over there, and he's got a tough task against the Cardinals.
Well, Lori, that's why she knew about the injuries, Edie White. I didn't know. That's good stuff. That's why you're on board. It's why you're a journalist.
And look, and I covered Kerry Watkins in high school too, so there you go.
We can't wait to talk to Kerry in just a little bit. As always, Lori, a pleasure. Well done. Looking forward to seeing your stuff on riverparishfootball.com. As we go to break, we go ahead and feature the cheerleaders from St. Charles Catholic. We're back. We're going to work the crowd a little bit. Let's find out who these East St. John players are and what they've been dealing with as we roll on from Pro Stylez Sports Bar, 150 Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. We're back after this. It's time for a TV timeout, brought to you by AMP, your local one-stop shop for all your print, promotional, and marketing needs. Choose local, choose AMP.
At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's my health insurance lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's my health insurance lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's my health insurance lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com. Back here at Pro Stylez Sports Bar, Eric Richey along with East St. John head coach Phillip Banko. A lot of your players came out today. It's been a tight-knit group this whole year.
The whole time.
Darren Piper, and I play cornerback. I'm Willie Davis, and I play quarterback. Justin Nelson, and I play Mike linebacker. George Broad, and I play receiver. Riley Harrisburg, and I play safety. Defense, running back, too. Monty Martin, I'm the linebacker.
Broke your ankle in a couple different places in practice this past week. First of all, we're sorry to hear it, but you're persevering. You showed up a day after surgery. What did it say to you about your teammates for the support that they've shown you and the love they've shown you?
It was just brotherhood that they showed me. It's all love, and they wish I was on the field with them fighting in war.
Well, we wish you the best, man. You just hang in there, stay tough. You guys, this East St. John Wildcat team, I'll tell you what, they got a lot of heart. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk to the owner of this bar, a former Wildcat himself, and Kerry Watkins, when we return on This Week in River Parish Football.
It's a whole lot better for planned service than it is for demand service.
That's why at Cajun Comfort, Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating, we've developed a unique umbrella for our customers known simply as
Comfort Club.
For AC units, it's the
ESA.
Energy Savings Agreement.
You get 2 cleanings a year. Also with that, you get a 15% discount on any repairs you may need, and you get priority service, which to me is the most important thing.
Comfort Club.
Which also includes
EPP.
Electrical Protection Plan.
We go through your panel and check all your breakers, check everything, make sure everything looks good. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of electrical fire in your home.
Comfort Club.
And for your generators,
GMP.
Generator Maintenance Program.
We go through, we change the oil, we change filters. When the storm comes, your generator's up and ready to kick on for you.
We're what satisfaction is supposed to feel like, and we guarantee that satisfaction 100%.
Now's the time to call Cajun Comfort, Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating, and just ask for
Comfort Club. At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's my health insurance lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's my health insurance lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's my health insurance lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com. Welcome back to This Week in River Parish Football. Eric Richey, pleased to be joined by the owner of Pro Stylez Sports Bar and former East St. John River Parish star, Georgia Tech star, CFL star. The beat goes on. Kerry Watkins, man, thanks for having us here tonight, man.
Oh, man, I'm glad you can be here.
Hey, tell us a little bit, first of all, before we get into your career, and I want to talk that, tell us a little bit, first of all, about this place. I mean, this is looking good.
Well, I mean, I had a vision. I always, from the time I went to college, I always had a vision of owning and opening up a sports bar. And, I just traveled the world and seen, what other places had to offer. And I just kind of collaged all those ideas together to bring this place together. And I knew it's something we never had in the River Parish.
What are you most proud of about Pro Stylez Sports Bar? What makes it so unique?
What makes it so unique is, we have the best wings, the best burgers. Everything is homemade. The sauces, everything is made in-house. So, everyone loves it. It's a homey, cozy atmosphere. No smoking. So you can come out and enjoy yourself, great music, watch all the sports you want.
Monday night is the place to be. As I talked to you on Monday, the place was jamming. Let's talk East St. John football, a place near and dear to your heart, an alum from a graduate of '98. Your final season of football was '97 with Lou Valden. Take us back to that era of East St. John Wildcat football.
Oh, man, it was some great times. You had guys like Greg Gaddis, Rodell Williams. We just had a great time, and we enjoyed, every bit of it. It was fun times. We dominated. We played a lot of rivalries. A lot of guys that I played against in high school, played against them in college also. So, I definitely miss it. I go back from time to time and check out the stadium, and try to talk to the guys, some of the, the guys that's playing right now to help them out, give them the techniques. But, it was definitely great times.
Georgia Tech, you leave the Yellow Jackets as the second all-time leading receiver. in Georgia Tech history, what was your collegiate experience like?
Oh, it was definitely, you know, a big change. You know, you just have the first year, you just have to get used to being away from home. You know, and once you make that adjustment, I mean, it becomes, you start to learn how to adapt to different environments and meet people from all different parts of the world, all different cultures. So it teaches you how to really bond and a network with people. You know, it's a great experience. You get
a look with the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, but you star in the Canadian Football League. 8 years in Montreal. I looked at the stats, like every year 1,000 yards receiving. You're an all-star 4 different times, and you got a little of the bling. Why don't you hold that up to Ashley's camera right there? One of your 2 Grey Cup championship rings. Second one. What was it like to win a Grey Cup? Be a champion, Kerry.
Oh man, it just feel like, you know, I would love to have that feeling all over again, because you're just on top of the world. I mean, the city, everyone just behind you, they support you. I mean, just the memories of, you know, the Grey Cup parade, and how everyone, you know, just looks up to you. You know, just riding on the float through the city, they shut down the whole city, you know, just to come out and support us. You know, it was one of the greatest feelings ever.
And in January, he retires from professional football after an illustrious career, and now back home in LaPlace, back home living out his second dream, and that's owning a sports bar. We'll be back again here with This Week in River Parish Football, back to Pro Stylez Sports Bar. We certainly invite you to stop out, say hi to Kerry, check out this awesome sports bar. One more time, just give us a little love, a little plug as far as what you want our audience to know about Pro Stylez Sports Bar.
I want you to know about Pro Stylez. Everyone is welcome, and you're always going to have a great time. Drink specials every day, $10 buckets of beer, $2 Tuesdays, we used to have it, steak nights every Tuesday. I mean, just come out and watch every sporting event you want.
Kerry, thank you so much for having us one more time. For all of us here with River Parish Football, glad you're back, representing. You're doing a great job. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that'll bring an end to this show. One more time, it's This Week in River Parish Football from Pro Stylez Sports Bar, 150 Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. For Lori, Lyons, and the entire crew here with This Week in River Parish Football, I'm Eric Richey. So long, everyone.